Hello everyone, this is another word problem, if you will. It is a long question requiring a lot of work. It's highly likely that you'll have something like this in your next quiz. It reads, this is straight out of your notes, please print it out so that you can follow along. The marginal profit for a company that produces and sells X pairs of sunglasses is given by MP of X equals 10 minus 0.0003X squared, where X is greater than or equal to 0 but less than or equal to 400. Now the first thing that I would like to do is to write down that this is the marginal profit, which if you remember, that's a fancy way of saying P prime of X, right? So this is 10 minus 0.0003X squared. All right, so the very first question says, find M of P rather, MP of 100. Okay, so what you would like to do is to simply plug 100 in here. You don't have to do anything because this is the marginal profit already. This is find the marginal profit at 100. So MP at 100 equals, plugging it in here, 10 minus 0.0003 times 100, the quantity squared equals, okay, I got 7. All right, so we want to acknowledge that we could label this as P prime at 100. So you're finding an instantaneous rate of change, which is your derivative, which should be a slope, right? The fact that I said rate of change meant that this would be a slope. So I'm going to rewrite this as 7 over 1, right? Because 7 over 1 is still 7. Okay, now your units on this, P prime is positive 7, which tells you that your profit should be increasing by 7 in profit for each one that you increase in sunglasses, right? So P prime positive means P is increasing. So this is your dollars profit. That's what's increasing, right? P prime positive means P is increasing per each X, right? So this is a change in your profit relative to your change in your quantity. So this is sunglasses. Okay, so I'm going back to one of the earlier videos. All right, so what you could say that when you sell 100 sunglasses, right there, the profit is increasing by 7 for each additional sunglass. Each one after this, that is. All right, so I'll say that again. You sell 100 sunglasses, the overall profit goes up 7 if you sell one more pair of sunglasses. Now here's the problem. They're gonna say interpret it in economic terms, right? So I'm gonna force your hands and force you to say it in a particular way. So I keep putting my finger here because I want to acknowledge that this is when you have manufactured and sold 100 sunglasses. At that point, look at how your profit is increasing. Your profit goes up $7 for each additional pair of sunglasses. So if we have one pair of sunglasses past 100, I think that's 101. So from the production and sale of the 101st, again, you're at 100, you went up one more pair of sunglasses. Pair of sunglasses. The profit increase and additional $7. All right, hopefully I'll be able to give you a copy of this sheet. I'm not sure what all I'm gonna remember to do at the end of this video. All right, so there's that problem. The next thing it asks you to do is to sketch the marginal profit function. So let's go over here, like that. Okay, so what do we have? This is our marginal profit. Marginal profit the biggest thing is the units. Fortunately, you have the units. This is dollars profit per pair of sunglasses. That's what goes here. Dollars profit per sunglasses. Okay, so please pay attention. If it's marginal revenue, it will be dollars revenue per whatever your X is. But this is profit, right? Marginal profit rather. Okay, so on your X, you specifically say that you have X pairs of sunglasses. So this is X sunglasses. All right, so now we just need to get that function graphed. All right, so 10 minus 0.0003 x squared. Okay, so let me show you what my graph looks like. Okay, so this is what I plugged into my calculator, right? And I hit the graph button, and you'll notice I don't see it that well. All right, so let me show you how to get there fairly quickly. Okay, the first thing you want to deal with is the y's. Okay, so you know that the function that you're trying to sketch out is your marginal profit, MP of x, which is P prime of x, which equals 10 minus 0.0003 x squared. Okay, we want to find out this point right here where you cross the y-axis. And one way to do that is to acknowledge that right at the y-axis, all of the x values are equal to 0. So all I'm going to do is just plug 0 into this equation. So 10 minus 0.0003 times 0, the quantity squared, which equals 10. So that tells me that I should be hitting at 10. Now on my calculator, I should at least go up as high as 10. So if you look at my windows, I'm going to scroll past the x's. I'm going to pass them up. Okay, you'll notice I hit 10, but let's go past that and just do 20 instead, since that's bigger, and I'll press graph. All right, so now I can see my function. That's the first thing. The second thing that you want to do is to see if you have curvature. So if we look at our function, we already know we should have curvature because it's a quadratic equation. Okay, so this right here, this trick that I just told you, this will allow you to see the y's, but not the x's. The x's, what you're going to do there is you're going to go from negative 10 to 10. If that doesn't work, you'll go negative 10 to 100. If that doesn't work, you'll go from negative 10 to 1,000. Hopefully you get the point, right? You're going up in multiples of 10. All right, so in my x, you'll notice I went from negative 10. It wasn't good. I can't see the curvature. So now I'm going to go negative 10 to 100, hit graph. Okay, and you can kind of see it. And if I go my window and I go to negative 10 to 1,000, very quickly, I should be able to see the curvature of the graph. All right, so now I know my function looks something like this, right? All right, another thing that you guys need to keep in mind is that they've given you some information that they want you to mark on your graph. It says you start at x equals 0 and you end at 400. So 400 is significant. I'm going to do second calc, number 1, and then just evaluate at 400. See where that is. All right, so x equals 400. They're not showing it, but it's somewhere over here. If I let my y's go further down, I can show it to you. Let's see. So second calc, number 1, 400. It's right there. It's hard to see. You're gonna have to change your window, but mine is somewhere in there. Okay, so my 400 is somewhere in here. Okay. So we have a well-labeled graph. This is absolutely fantastic. Notice it says carefully label the function. Check. And the y-intercept. Check. Meaningfully label the x and y axes. Check and check. Pay attention to the instructions, please. Okay? So here it says on the above graph, shade the area that represents the profit. Right? This is huge because this says marginal profit and we want to shade what represents the profit. The only way to go from P prime to P is the antiderivative. So we know we have to take the antiderivative of P prime of X dx. And it says from producing and selling the first 150 pairs of sunglasses, so 0 to 150. So we want the region that's trapped between P prime, the x-axis, start at 0, end at 50. All right, so let me see if I can change my window just slightly. Okay, so I'm back to what I had before. If we do second calc number 7, then it turns out that it should show us the region, right? We don't have to use the fundamental theorem of calculus in order to get there, right? So 150 is somewhere in here, 150. And we'll see if I can find it with my pinches between P prime and the x-axis, pinch, between 0 and 150, pinch. So the region that I'm describing is actually that. Okay, that represents this antiderivative.